Welcome, everyone, to our deep dive into relationship psychology and compatibility. Today, we're chatting about the fundamentals of matchmaking, from core values to personality dynamics, and ensuring both partners are truly ready.
That sounds super engaging and really covers the nuts and bolts of what makes relationships work, right?
Exactly. It's all about understanding the core elements that help couples click. It begins with core values, those guiding principles that really shape a
Yep.
person's life.
Right? Core values like family priorities, religion, and even career ambitions, yeah?
Yes, exactly. Think about it. If someone values family above all and the other is super career driven to the point of neglecting home life, it generally leads to friction. It's like trying to mix
hmm
oil and water.
But how do you assess those core values in clients, especially when sometimes they might articulate them differently?
Good question. It's about asking open-ended questions like what matters most to you and listening not just to the words but the energy behind them. For example, one client might mention community service and family unity, while another might stress individual achievement.
Exactly. And I imagine that these values are the very foundation. When they align, couples have that extra spark of understanding, right?
Definitely. In fact, studies show that couples matched on similar core values often have significantly lower divorce rates. It's like if you build a house with a strong foundation, nothing shakes it, even when life gets tough.
Yeah, that makes complete sense.
Now, while values are integral, we also dive into personality factors. It's fascinating because you might hear birds of a feather flock together versus opposites attract, and it's kind of
Absolutely.
both, you know?
So, which is more crucial in determining compatibility, similarity or complementarity in personality?
Well, research indicates that similarity in personality isn't as strong a predictor as similarity in core values. It's more about whether the traits, like emotional stability, agreeableness, or conscientiousness, support a harmonious interaction.
hmm True, though I wonder if sometimes those differences can also balance each other out, don't you think?
Yes, they can sometimes, but there's a fine line. I mean, a bit of differences is healthy, like the classic free spirited artist paired with an orderly engineer. However, too much disparity, particularly in traits like neuroticism, often predicts conflict.
I see your point. And assessing these personality factors can be tricky. I mean, do you rely solely on questionnaires? Or is it more about like intuitive observations?
It's a mix of both. Formal assessments can reveal significant traits using tools like the Big Five, but a lot of insight comes from a matchmaker's intuition during client interviews. It's like a two-layered approach, quantitative and qualitative.
Right.
Moving on to the third pillar, relationship readiness. This one is super critical because even if values and personality are aligned, if one person isn't ready emotionally, the match can struggle.
That's a huge factor. How do we gauge if someone is truly ready for a committed relationship?
It boils down to a few things: emotional availability, willingness to commit, life stability, and having realistic expectations. If someone is still hung up on past relationships or their life is in a major upheaval, they're likely not yet ready.
Right, that makes sense.
For example, if one client is freshly divorced and not following through with personal healing, that mismatch in readiness can derail even a potentially compatible pairing.
Definitely. And I guess that's why even some high-tech matchmaking systems like say Soulmatcher incorporate readiness signals into their algorithm, right?
Exactly, Soulmatcher is a great case study. They not only evaluate core values and personality using comprehensive profiles, but they also look at readiness by asking targeted questions about current life circumstances and commitment levels.
That's really innovative.
Their approach is holistic. They use a relationship quality index that predicts, based on the mix of psychological profiles, which couples have the best chance of lasting success. It's like using data to capture the art of matchmaking.
Indeed, using data to enhance what has traditionally been a gut-based process is fascinating. Speaking of the gut feeling, how much should matchmakers rely on intuition compared to hard data?
Well, that's where the art meets the science. Ultimately, a matchmaker's intuition is critical, but it should be informed by psychological principles. Think of it as a dance. The quantitative analysis sets the stage, and intuition fills in the performance.
That's a really cool analogy, yeah.
And it's important to remember that no couple is 100% compatible in every aspect. The goal is aligning on the big factors so that couples can navigate the smaller quirks that arise naturally in relationships.
Absolutely. It's more about a solid foundation than navigating life's ups and downs together. So, what kind of red flags should a matchmaker look for when analyzing these factors?
Red flags could include extreme traits like severe neuroticism, overly dominant behavior, or mismatches in fundamental values, like one partner being adamant about having kids while the other flat out rejects that. It's like noticing early signs that indicate long term incompatibility.
Right, that can be a deal breaker in the long term.
Exactly. And then on the flip side, green flags are evident when both clients are, let's say, resilient in their emotional stability, open to new experiences in a balanced way, and share core non negotiable values. That combination can really set the stage for success.
A well rounded profile really makes all the difference. And matching on personality isn't all black and white, is it? Sometimes it's about how the personalities interact rather than if they are identical.
Right on. It's not necessary for partners to be personality twins. Rather, it's about ensuring that one person's quirks are understood and even complemented by the other. For example, one might be more spontaneous, which, if paired with a partner's calm nature, creates a balanced dynamic.
Exactly, that balance is key.
Now let's dig a little into the practical aspects. For a matchmaker, assessing compatibility could involve using detailed questionnaires and follow up interviews. It's about mapping out, for instance, someone's list of top values and seeing if they mesh with another person's.
That method seems very structured yet flexible. And what about those proprietary personality models like Myers Briggs or the Enneagram? Do you think they add real value?
They can be useful for sparking conversation, but ultimately, they shouldn't be the sole determiner. They provide a framework, but deep personal insights come from a holistic understanding of the client. It's important to not get too hung up
I
on
agree.
just a
Getting
type.
nuanced insights is more important than labeling someone.
Absolutely. In practice, matchmakers often use these tools as conversation starters. The real magic happens when they observe how clients interact face to face and articulate what they really seek, highlighting both red and green
Exactly.
flags.
Sometimes it's those subtle cues that tell the real story.
And when it comes to relationship readiness, a direct conversation can be invaluable. Asking clients how they feel and examining their life context, like career stability or recent emotional experiences, can drastically change the assessment. It's like checking the gear before a long road trip.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to start a journey without making sure everything's in order, right? What really struck me was the idea that even a great match on paper can falter if one person isn't emotionally prepared. Don't you think that sometimes, even with mismatches in personality, readiness can override those issues?
It sure can. If both individuals are at a stage where they're ready to invest emotionally, they're more likely to overcome the bumps on the road. That emotional preparedness acts like a lubricant, smoothing over potential conflicts, even if the personalities aren't a perfect mirror image.
Right, it's like oiling the engine.
Exactly. And as matchmakers, our role is somewhat like that of an architect. We're building a robust foundation by aligning core values, refining personality fits, and ensuring both parties are ready to embark on the journey of a serious relationship.
It really highlights the integrated approach of art and science in matchmaking. This integrated, holistic assessment seems critical, and it really puts into perspective how deep the whole process is beyond just swipe right.
Absolutely. It's more than superficial attraction. It's about establishing long term success based on carefully weighed psychological factors. That's what makes modern matchmaking both challenging and deeply rewarding.
Definitely, and it's exciting to think about how this field continues to evolve.
Right, as we wrap up, remember that while no match is perfect, aligning on core values, personality fit, and readiness can really set couples on a path toward fulfillment. Whether you're using advanced tools like AI driven platforms or traditional face to face insights, the goal remains the same: crafting relationships that can stand the test of time.
Yes, indeed, it's all about laying that strong groundwork. Thanks for such an in depth conversation on the basics of relationship psychology and compatibility. It's been both insightful and refreshingly practical.
Thanks for joining the discussion. Keep exploring these key elements because they truly are the backbone of a successful, lasting relationship.